What is going on? Welcome to the episode. Today we're going to be chatting about a term called net carbs because I've had a number of my clients ask me about this concept, which means I'm sure that a number of you are wondering about it as well. So we've got calories. Calories are made up of macronutrients, and the macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fats, okay? Alcohol is technically also a macro, but we're gonna focus on food during this chat. Protein contains 4 calories per gram, carbs also contain 4 calories per gram, and fats contain 9 calories per gram. And alcohol contains 7 calories per gram, just in case you're wondering. In regards to protein and fat, that is as far as it goes. That's all that you need to know about their makeup in terms of total calories. However, carbs are a tad bit different, and the reason that they're different is due to 2 things. One is fiber, and the other is something called sugar alcohols, which are not regular table sugar, as in the stuff that some folks add to their coffee and what they bake treats with. They have a slightly different chemical structure. You may have seen sugar alcohols on some ingredient labels, and they have names like erythritol, lactitol, mannitol, maltitol, sorbitol, xylitol, among a few others. Now, we just mentioned that carbs contain 4 calories per gram. Well, it turns out that fiber and these things called sugar alcohols are carbohydrates. However, they only contain about 2 to 3 calories per gram due to the way in which they are digested. So 25 grams of pure table sugar has 100 calories in it. And if we compare that to something like a medium-sized apple that has about 25 grams of carbohydrates in it as well, however, about 5 grams of which are fiber. The apple has closer to 90 to 95 calories in it due to that 5 grams of fiber, because instead of the regular 4 calories per gram, that fiber, that 5 grams specifically, only contains 2 to 3 calories per gram. A very small difference, but a difference nonetheless. Now, like we mentioned, sugar alcohols are similar to fiber in that they don't contain 4 calories per gram either. They also are closer to 2 to 3 calories per gram, and therefore companies add fiber and sugar alcohols to products because they reduce the calories slightly, and therefore they can market them as lower calorie options. But more importantly, and what's more misleading, is that companies take advantage of this term called net carbs. And there is a loophole here. Net carbs refers to the total grams of carbohydrates in a product minus the grams of fiber and or sugar alcohols. So for example, Smart Sweets. These are quote unquote low calorie gummy candies. I get asked about these things all the time. And honestly, I don't know how they've done it or how they're allowed to do it, but their calorie labels are just straight up wrong. A package of Smart Sweets says on the label that it contains 100 calories. And when we look at the breakdown of those calories, it reads 0 grams of protein, 0 grams of fat, and 42 grams of carbs. 13 grams of those 42 grams of carbs are fiber. Now, we mentioned before that each gram of carbs has 4 calories, and 42 times 4 is 168. Now, to be fair, we only absorb 2 to 3 calories per gram of fiber. So if we account for the 2 to 3 calories per gram of each gram of fiber, let's say it's 2 calories to be generous, we still land at 142 calories per package, and it's labeled as 100 calories. Again, I don't know how Smart Sweets gets away with this or how this loophole is even a thing, because it's just straight up false. They subtracted the calories from the fiber completely out of this product instead of accounting for the 2 to 3 calories per gram that we absorb from fiber. Great marketing, fair enough, I get it, but super misleading. Now you might be thinking, 42 calories. Marcus, who cares, dude? You're always talking about focusing on the basics and the big rocks, and you're right. The thing is that 42 calories equates to this product being over 40% off because the package is listed to only contain 100 calories. That is a massive difference. For example, that's equivalent to something having 1,420 calories in it, but only listing 1,000 calories on the label. That's huge. 42%, which is a generous number, by the way, because we multiplied by the lower end, i.e. 2 calories instead of 3. So take that for what it's worth. Now, I'm not picking on Smart Sweets specifically because plenty of other products take advantage of this loophole as well. And the easiest way to find out is simply by looking at calorie labels and doing a little bit of math. For example, if you tally up the protein and carbs and multiply them by 4 and take the total grams of fat and multiply it by 9, you get a number. Now, if the product has fiber and or sugar alcohols in it and they don't account for at least 2 to 3 calories per gram of each of these things, there's something funky going on. Now, the nice thing about single ingredient whole foods that I talk about on the pod all the time is this isn't an issue. When you look at a bag of apples and break down the calories, they all add up. They don't subtract out the fiber and do this misleading, funky calculation. So if you just eat whole food, this net carbs thing doesn't even matter. Now, if you do choose to eat these products, should you account for net carbs at all? So should you account for the minimal difference that fiber and sugar alcohols make calorie-wise? No. You're just chasing your tail. It's so pointless, and it's never going to be the difference between getting results and not getting results. So in short, I wouldn't recommend accounting for net carbs in these types of products or in single ingredient whole foods like apples. Just focus on totals. Now, there is another really important factor to consider in regards to this fiber, sugar alcohols, and these alternative food products specifically, and that is digestion. Too much fiber and even a small amount of sugar alcohols are both notorious for messing with digestion because there is no free lunch. Most folks just don't tolerate a whole bunch of added fiber and or sugar alcohols very well. And again, if you're not consuming these funky products, sugar alcohols become a non-issue because they don't exist in single ingredient whole food. And fiber tends not to be much of an issue either, unless you're eating like outrageous amounts of things like beans and legumes, but everyone knows that overdoing those cause digestive upset. Shit, there's a whole song about how beans make folks gassy, so common knowledge there. Now, this isn't to say that fiber can't be an issue outside of beans and legumes for certain individuals, but generally speaking, those are the exceptions, or just a little bit more rare, I would say. So, if you choose to eat these food products, be mindful of the fact that you may be consuming more calories than you think due to this labeling loophole, as well as how you personally digest both added fiber and sugar alcohols. If you're interested in applying for one-on-one nutritional coaching and or workout design with me, you can click the link in the description below or head on over to n1fitness.com/coaching. I recently started putting a lot more content up on YouTube, including vlogs, full days of eating, and there are plenty more vids to come. So if that type of content interests you, subscribe to the channel at Marcus Sadhu. Instagram, I'm at N1Fitness, and on TikTok, I'm at the N1Fitness. Thank you so much to the folks that have taken 3 seconds to leave us a 5-star review on their favorite podcast platform. I genuinely appreciate it because that's how we reach more folks with what I like to think is pretty solid and actionable info. And lastly, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that you found this episode useful, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.